folks this weekend who will be talking to you and bringing messages to you that tie back to that theme. So what's our theme?
Amazing Grace, my chains are gone.
There you go. I'm Ron Johnston, and I'm going to be with you guys through this weekend, kind of piece all of the speakers and the devotionals and all that kind of stuff together. So my job is to make sure that you know what's coming up next, and so I'm going to do the best that I can. Raise your hand if you've been to a youth rally at this church before. Okay, an easier way is raise your hand if you've not been to a youth rally here before. Excellent. Well, for both groups, welcome. Thank you for coming back if you've been here before, and for those who it's their first time, thank you for coming. We really appreciate you being here. And this weekend is about a few things. First and foremost, it's all about learning more about God's will for us, learning about the love of Jesus Christ, strengthening each other in our walk, our Christian walk, and building relationships with each other. And there's other things that are going to come out of this weekend, but those are really important things. And none of it would happen if you weren't here. So we are really grateful and appreciative that you're here. Tomorrow, I am 99.9% sure that almost every single seat is going to be filled. There's a lot of folks that show up on Saturday. I'm appreciative for you guys, and I'm going to be appreciative for the second wave that comes in tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun this weekend. I want to introduce our speaker for this weekend. He's going to start tonight with a message. But before he does, I want you to know a little bit about him and his family, so you know where he's coming from. His name is Chip Pugh. It's not one word, it's two separate words. Chip Pugh. His wife, his better half, her name is Nicole. I don't believe Nicole is with us this evening. She'll be with us tomorrow. Chip has two beautiful daughters. They are ages 5 and 3. Their names are Rory and Reagan. And they are from the Cookeville, Tennessee area. Does anybody know where Cookeville is? Yes. So we've got some reference there. Chip is the campus minister at Tennessee Tech. He is tied to the College Side Church of Christ. And at the Tennessee Tech College, is it a university? University. He is the chaplain for the basketball team and the football team, okay? And it's very appropriate that Chip has that role because Chip's background includes being a football player at the collegiate level himself. Now, I love sports, and so to me, knowing what Chip had to do and go through to compete at that level is impressive. When Chip and I were getting to know each other a couple of minutes ago, what impressed me even more than knowing what he had to do to compete at the collegiate level was knowing that now he's ministering to other college athletes, and he's strengthening their spirituality. So to me, that's really awesome stuff. The last thing I want to tell you about Chip, when he stands up, take a good look at him and tell me if you believe this, because I do not believe this. But I asked Chip, I said, what position did you play on the football team at Ohio University? And he said he was an offensive lineman. I do not believe it for 1 second. But that's who's coming up right now. Everybody please say hello to Chip Pugh.
Let's do it, yeah. Try that again. Let's do it. Who's lead singing?
So we've got songs.
Yeah, we have these songs.
Where's Thomas at? We're singing songs, Try it now. All right.
Who's been walking down the road?
Dearly Father, we're thankful for all the blessings you've given us, Father. At this time, we're especially thankful for all the work and effort that's gone into the youth rally. Father, we ask your blessing on all the events this weekend, that we will be edified and emboldened. Father, please be with Mr. Pugh, help him deliver effective lessons that embolden us and encourage us. Father, help us to study on our own every day at our homes. Father, thank you for all the blessings you give us and help us remember that these blessings come from you. In your son's name we ask all these things. Amen.
I once was lost in sin,
But Jesus took me in, and lived a life from heaven filled my soul. It made my heart in love, and wrote my name above, and just a little talk with Jesus makes me whole. Let us have a little talk with Jesus, let us tell about our troubles. He will hear our faintest cry, He will answer by and by. When you feel the breathful yearning, and your heart in heaven is turning,
couple with me. That'd be all right? Sound good? Oh, no? How about this one? Jesus, Jesus,
Jesus in the morning, Jesus at the noontime. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus when the sun goes down.
love him, I'm gonna
Love him in the morning, love him at the noontime. Love him when the sun goes down.
serve him, I'm gonna
Serve him in the morning, serve him at the noontime. Serve him when the sun goes down. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus in the morning, Jesus at the noontime. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus when the sun goes down.
The church said? Amen. The church said?
Amen.
Amen. All right, we're going to get into it a little bit tonight. I want to make sure that you are awake. The sun has gone down, but it's still about Him. Amen? Amen. Amen. You guys know Amen? Know that song? Know the song Amen? Kind of? All right, we'll give it our best shot. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Jehovah. It is true, I played offensive line in college. This is a fact, and that is loud. I'm going to blow y'all out if we don't turn that one down. Amen. I did play offensive line in college, and I'm going to give you the backstory for that tonight. When I was 9 years old, in Parkersburg, West Virginia, to be precise, Vienna doesn't get enough pubs, Rob. Vienna, West Virginia. And I don't expect anybody else in here to know where that is, but that's okay. I played defensive line. 9th grade came out, or 9 years old came out. And I guess that was about 4th or 5th grade. We went out and went to play, and when you're first starting out, you don't know where you're going to play. The coach says, hey, that's where you're going to play. I think he knew I couldn't run, so he said, you're going to be somewhere on that line. I played defensive line because they had all the offensive line we needed. And I started gaining a little bit of weight over the next year or two, and didn't gain any more speed, and still have not gained any speed. And I tell people, I've lost 100 pounds since I played at Ohio U, but I'm exact same speed, if not slower, probably slower. I could go a lot longer. I've run marathons, and some of you guys know Franco. He and I have run together. So I went from an offensive lineman in college to running with Franco Wakisi. So that's pretty big. I believe a great thing that I could put down in my life. But I'm thankful that what I do have is I have endurance, and that means I can go tonight till about midnight. That's okay with y'all. That good? Amen?
Amen.
Sound good? All right. We got some Bible students tonight. I like it. I saw some Bibles coming in here. I saw somebody reading a Bible in the back when I first came in. I was excited to hear about that. But honestly, by the time this weekend's up, I want it to be about one word. No matter what our theme is, no matter what I talk about, I want it to come back to one word, one concept, one man, Jesus. And that's the two songs I just led. I want it to be about Him. And I hope that you came in here tonight knowing that. If you didn't know that I prayed for you, I prayed for you this week. I prayed for you again tonight. I prayed very hard for you about an hour ago that there would be somebody tonight that has never met Him, would meet Him tonight. And that might be you in here tonight. Because I believe at times like this, there's something special about it. Because you've got people of the same age group that are coming on a Friday night in one of my favorite places in the world around Charlotte, North Carolina, and you decided to come to this church building on a Friday night. Now, that's pretty awesome. And the only thing that can do that is Jesus. Now, I have a feeling there might have been some people that got tugged by someone else who knows Jesus and brought him in here, and that's okay. But that's why you're here. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. But I want to tell you a little bit about my story tonight, and I'll tell you more tomorrow, but how I came to know Him. And I'm going to be talking about what it means to grow. What does it mean to grow? I played college football, but then I immediately got into the coaching realm, and I've been a strength and conditioning coach since. I am a coach. That's what God made me to be. Campus minister now is what I do, and I still coach in some CrossFit stuff, and I still train some people. But I stepped out of full-time strength coaching in college 3 years ago. But coaching is what I've done. I design programs. That's what I teach. That's what I know. And I know about, I'm here, and I want to help somebody go here. That's what a coach means, is take someone from one point to the next. And that's what I'm doing this weekend. Whether you like athletics or not, I'm thinking of it that way, that I want to help you move forward in who God created you to be. Because each and every person in this room was created for a purpose. Amen? Amen? Amen. Were you created for a purpose? You know what the alternative is? You're an accident. I don't choose to believe that. There are no accidents in here. None. Every single one of you have been created for a purpose. And God wants you to be 100% of who He created you to be. Who is at and performing at 100% of who they're created to be tonight? Anybody? Not me. But man, I want to know more about it. You know what that is? You know what it looks like? Jesus. He created you to be like Him. He sent His Son to this earth, God did, to show you what we are capable of. He sent His Son to this earth to show you what you can be. And we will never be as perfect like Him, but He wants to walk within us and live out His purpose. And so as I look at it, I transform. So we're going to be talking about growing and becoming more like Him. And yes, those chains are gone. I'm free from the alternatives, the alternative purposes that this world throws out. But I want to be in the purpose of what Jesus created me to do. So when I was 9 years old, I walked out on the football field and put the helmet on for the first time and the pads and shoulder pads. I didn't know really what I was doing. I watched a lot of other football players play. I thought, this can't be too bad. I love playing football. You know? So I got out there on the defensive line. I was out on the left defensive end. I remember this distinctly. We're talking 30 years ago now. And I come out into the backfield, and I'm looking. I don't know if I was looking or not, but pretty soon I knew what was coming. And we had a fullback coming to kick me out. Well, he kicked me out, and I kept being kicked. And I remember laying on the ground. I've never felt this feeling before. Anybody ever had their wind knocked out of them? That's what happened to me. Trying to get my breath. I can't quite get it. I don't know what is going on with me. I can't breathe. What's happening? And my coach came over and looked at me. He's like, "It's okay. It's okay. You have the wind knocked out of you, aren't you?" And I'm going, "Oh no!" Scared to death. My eyes crying. What's going on? I looked over the sideline. There's my dad. And my dad came over to get me. And I think it was towards the end of practice. Dad came over to get me and he said, "Son, you got knocked down." And I know he said this because he's said this my entire life since I was a child. I'm blessed to have a dad that would say something like this. You got knocked down, but that doesn't matter. It matters if you got back up. And so I just kept getting back up. That's it. So I got back up and came to practice the next day. Got back up, came to practice the next year. And I learned real quick, if I was going to make it as a football player, I better get stronger. I better get bigger. And that's what I started to do. So my Uncle Tim came into my basement and said, "All right, here's what this is. This is a bench press. This is a bar. And these are dumbbells. And here's how you're going to use them." And he showed me how to do some bench press. Showed me how to do some curls. Showed me how to do some other things that I would had no idea that the rest of my life would be used with these types of things, weightlifting. And they helped me get stronger. I used weights. I used push-ups. I remember drinking everything I could, protein, whatever I could get, taking these amino acids. I think they were about that big. I tried to put them down, these big horse pills. There was really no such thing as a lot of the weight gain stuff now, back then, but we try to create things. I mean, I'm drinking ice cream, I'm drinking shakes every night, eating pizza after dinner, all that kind of stuff. And it worked. I got up in the 280s when I was in college, and I was a pretty big guy. I could bench press a lot of weight, squat a lot of weight, power clean a lot of weight. But it started from that moment when I said, I better get strong. That's where you are tonight, if you're honest. You are at a place in your life where you look around, if you're honest, and you say, I better get stronger. Something better change in me, or it's not going to be what I want it to. And that might be physically for some of y'all in this room. I don't know, because I see some athletic shirts and jackets in here and stuff like that. I bet you're thinking like that. But what I'm talking about is I want to grow. I want to get better as a person of who God made me to be. I've got 2 little girls. They'll be here in the morning. They're 5 and 3. And I'm educating them now very, very strong. You can test them tomorrow if they'll talk to you. I teach them not to, especially not the guys. I teach them not to talk to the guys. Rory, she's 5 years old. Who's your boyfriend? Daddy. Amen. We're aiming to keep that there, right? As long as possible. She starts talking about some boy at their Mother's Day out. And it's the preschool there in College Side. And his name's Samuel. And she tells me, Samuel this, Samuel that. I say, hey, wait a second. Now, who's Samuel? Is Samuel your boyfriend? And she said, no, sir. You're my boyfriend. He's just a boy. And I said, that's right. And so I let her know that the path is going to be this. Daddy is boyfriend until she finds a man doing one of these things. Because I know, for real, there ain't no boy in this room that can do this right now. Not one of them wants to do that, ladies. So if they ain't ready to do this, they're just a boy. Let him alone. You got a purpose right now, serving God. Amen? Amen. We got some dads in here too, I can tell. But what get personal. I get knocked down. I've been knocked down so many times since that day, I can't even count it. And I'm going to get knocked down again. I got knocked down last week by something that happened in my life. I've been knocked down with illness. I've been knocked down with disease. My mother struggles with breast cancer. She's been knocked down. That's knocked down our family. I've been knocked down financially. I couldn't have a child for about 10 years. My wife and I tried to have children for 10 years, couldn't have children. And so we decided that we would seek help through the infertility treatments, and we spent about $15,000 to try to have Rory, and through in vitro. We went to have that done. It was done. The doctor looked at it and said, it worked. $15,000. Like that. Gone. And so I've been knocked down. But just like I was that 9-year-old boy, I got back up. And the Proverbs say that a righteous man falls 7 times and he rises again. That's what it's about. It's about getting back up. And I want to get you thinking about some things being knocked down. I believe being knocked down is vital. I think you have to be knocked down. In fact, you will be knocked down whether you want to or not. It's going to happen. It's vital because if you don't get knocked down, you think you're invincible. And there's some boys in this room right now that think they're invincible. Because I was that guy. I remember that. I thought I was invincible. I thought I could do anything. Nothing can stop me. I'm going to play anywhere I want to play. Division I. It's going to happen. And I found out real quick, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't always work that way. Life does not work that way. And we will find out. But I bet there's other boys and girls in this room that have found out already they're not invincible. Because you look around, you look to the left and your right, and there are things that are wrong with you compared to someone else in this room. She's better looking, he's better looking. The boys like her, the girls like him. They don't like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm too big, I'm too skinny. My hair isn't right. Clothes don't look good on me like they do on them. I'm not as fast as him, I'm not as strong as him. I can't, school didn't come easy to me. So many measurements that we've got, right? All these measurements. And it's so easy to get in that game, but you know, if you're honest, you are not invincible. You will get knocked down, and you're getting knocked down right now. And you know what? I'm going to tell you tonight, that's good. You need that. You need that. If you don't realize you can get knocked down, you don't know there's God. In fact, we're talking tonight about this area. It's very difficult, in an area where a lot of people are well off financially. And it's a tough area. Because when people have what they want in their wallet, they're not looking for anything else. But they will get hit. Just like I've been hit. You will get hit by life. And you'll stop and go, is there something else coming? Young lady is on the soccer team at Tennessee Tech. We've baptized now 4 women soccer players at Tennessee Tech. And that started because one of them, Abby, who's one of our leaders, she obeyed the gospel, and then they just started coming. But she just started inviting them. And one of her teammates came to us last year, and she said she wanted to start studying, and we started studying, and things started coming up. Her mom just left her dad when she went to college. She walked out with him. She got married within just a couple months. She went back for winter break, this past winter break, and her dad has another woman in the home who is married and living in her house. So she's like, where am I going to go? I can't trust my mom, I can't trust my dad. Where do I go? She had all sorts of illness, which I think is disconnected. She had back issues, and now she's dealing as an 18-year-old young lady with illness, with sickness, with injury, and with both parents, the closest people in her life, have turned their back on one another, and she doesn't know where to turn. So now she's put on the Lord of baptism. She is now a faithful Christian. She has found a community that she wanted. She wouldn't have been able to see that clearly if she hadn't been knocked down. God didn't want that to happen. The devil does. God didn't want that to happen. But God can take that and turn it into something awesome. Amen? He can take it and turn it and make it useful. And I bet there's people in here, even at your age, that have already dealt with things like that. We learned this quickly when we started around other people. Little Rory came home a couple weeks ago, and she said, we always ask her every night, did you have a sunshine moment today? Yeah, Daddy, we got to do this, we got to do that. Did you have a gloomy moment? We're hoping that would set up some conversations. Yeah, my friends didn't want to play with me today. Oh yeah, tell me about that. They said that I was geeky. And they don't want to play with me. What'd you do? Well, I played with Sister. And I thought, wow, here it is already, 5 years old. It's already started. There's something wrong with me. That's what she's thinking. And that's exactly what every one of us thinks in here. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me because I'm not like someone else. But I want to tell you, there is great value that we're going to talk about that you have. Getting knocked down is vital because we need to know we're not invincible. Getting knocked down is vital because it reminds me where I came from. When I was laying on the ground, I looked up and I saw my coach, but I was immediately trying to find, where's my dad? I want help, and I want to get help from the guy I know I can trust. I need to know where I came from. That's where I want to go. When I get knocked down, it reminds me where I came from. I want to go to somebody else, somebody that I know that can help me. And I know that life is bigger than me, and I don't have the ability to answer all my questions, and I don't have the ability to fix all my problems, so I'm going to go somewhere. So who is that right now tonight to you? Is it dad? Is it mom? Is it grandma? Is it grandpa? Is it a coach? Is it a teacher? Is it a minister? Is it a Bible class teacher? Where are you reaching? That's where you came from. The people that you are around are the people that are forming you. They are the people that are forming you. Choose wisely. Because that's where you come from. The people that you say you want in your life, they are forming you. Choose wisely. Because when life knocks you down next, where you turn it? It's going to be one of them. Who is it? Who is it? Number 3, getting knocked down is vital because it secures why I really want to play this game. When I was a freshman at Ohio University, I remember, I'll never forget, we had an awful August practice where our coach, in fact, I don't remember why he did this, but I remember what it felt like. If you're running gassers, you know what gassers are? You're going over across the field and back. You're running over across the field, you're running over across the back. Well, our coach said, you know what you're going to do today? You're going to bear crawl gassers in the August heat. So we're down bear crawling, shoulder pads and helmets, and we're crawling, we're going back and forth. I'll never forget how bad it was, and I thought, is this ever going to end? And when we got back to the sideline, we looked over, and one of my teammates, he did not come back sideline. He was running to the locker room. He said, that's it. I don't think I've ever seen someone quit in the middle of a drill and run to the locker room. Usually they quit in the middle of the night. He's like, I'm out of here. Forget this. I mean, that's some bad stuff. I remember getting knocked down like that, physically, tired, exhausted. And you go, do I really want to do this? Why am I doing this? Why? When you get knocked down in life, that is great. Because you need to be confronted with why I am here. Why are you here? What's the point? What is the point of all this? Right? Don't you need to ask that question? In order to be 100% of who you're created to be, like I said at the beginning, don't you need to ask, why? Why am I doing this? What's the point? Because I bet you all got classmates that have already died in high school. Yeah. Why? What was the point of that? Don't you ask that? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why does that stuff happen? You need to ask that question. If you don't ask the question, you will never know the answer. In fact, if you don't ask the question, you're actually not being honest because it's in there. You want to know. Why? Why, God? Why is this happening? So as I played, continued to ask myself that question, and I needed that. But it's the times when you get knocked down that help you really confront why. And when you figure that out, when you get a grip on your purpose, watch out. Then you got somebody who's going to be on mission and on purpose. Number 4, when you get knocked down, it's vital because it helps you determine not only why, but where you're going. I wonder if I'd ever be any good. Justin Kaufman, that was the kid that knocked me down. I remember that. His little sister, she was my girlfriend not long after that. She dumped me after that too. Out there on the defensive end, he comes through, knocks me down, and I remember thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not big enough. But I got back up. And I got back up and started training. And I got back up and started trying to be the best I could be. That's how I knew where I was going. If you don't try, if you don't get out there and try what you're passionate about, you will never know, right? Do you know what you're passionate about? Do you know what you are good at? Do you know your talents and abilities? You won't know unless you try. Now, once you try, you'll start figuring that out. And that's why some people run track, and why some people throw the shot put. Because everybody tried to run, and some of them were fast, and some of them were big and strong, right? And you find out, and that's okay. We've all got different gifts and different abilities. Some of y'all in here are gifted servants. You're gifted. You look and you want to try to help someone else. You're always thinking about that. Thinking about the needs of others. Some of you, God has gifted to get up here and lead, and sing, and preach, and teach, and that's great. But there are a whole lot of ways to lead. My wife will not be that person. She is not gifted in that way. She will not be up front. But she's an amazing servant. And she leads me all the time in that way. She has taught me more than anybody else in this world. If you don't use your gifts, how will you ever know what you're gifted at? If you don't try, how will you ever know? And you're going to get knocked down when you do it. So 2 Peter chapter 3, I want you to look at this verse. This is the main verse I want you to think about tonight. The Bible actually says to do this. It says to grow. 2 Peter 3, verse 18. Somebody want to read it? Can I get a guy to read it loud and proud, please?
But grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To him be the glory both now and to the day and in eternity.
Grow. Grow. So Peter's saying what? Peter's not saying you're saved and it's okay. He's saying you're saved, now grow. Grow. Now grow how? Grow in the grace and the knowledge. Did you hear that? Grow in the grace. Everybody say grace?
Grace.
And the
Knowledge.
grow in the
Grace.
and the
Knowledge.
Okay, now what is he talking about? Grace and knowledge. Okay, what is grace? Grace is I'm given something I don't deserve. I don't deserve it. Anyone sitting in this room deserves the gift of Christ. Nobody. Romans 5 says that he died for us while we were still sinners. While you were still a sinner, he died for you. While you were still a sinner. Now, when did he die for you? 2,000 years ago, you weren't even here when he died for you. Had you done anything that makes you eligible for the grace of Christ? Nothing. Has anybody else done that? Think of the most solid Christian you know. Who is that? Your grandma? Who is that? The preacher? Who is it? Your mom? Your dad? Who is the Bible class teacher? Your friend? Who is the one you're like, wow, man, they're all about God? No. There's none of that made them eligible. None of them. There's not one thing you can do ever save yourself. Don't ever forget that. If you don't get that, you will think you can. And as soon as you think you can save yourself, you're going to keep trying and keep trying. And it's going to run your nose in the mud. In fact, you probably have to learn that lesson enough. And you stop and you go, I can't do that. He says grow in that. How do you grow in something you don't deserve? How do you grow in that? I was outside on the way here. I looked down. I saw this penny. If you look down enough, you're going to see one, aren't you? When you see a penny on the ground, what do you do? Be honest. Huh? You want to see what side it's on. It's on heads. I'm keeping that, right? But then if you just pass by. You ever see a penny on the ground? And just pass by? Who's on heads? There you go. Yeah. You know what? Why not? You don't need it. Oh, okay, why not? Is it not worth much? What will it get you? Nothing really, right? It really doesn't do anything. How about this? You choose. I will give you $1 million right now. Or I'll give you this penny right now. Which one would you choose? Now, let me tell you what this penny can do. This penny can double itself every day. So tomorrow, it'll turn into 2 pennies. And the third day, it'll turn into 4 pennies. And then the next day, it'll turn into 8. And I will give you the amount at 30 days. I will let you have that. You can have that, or you can have $1 million right now. Which one would you take? What would you do? What should you do? Take $1 million? Take $1 million and leave. Does anybody know what happens? 30 days. 30 days. If you do the math, and it doubles and it doubles and it doubles, at 30 days, $10.7 million for this one penny. You know, I look down and I see that penny on the ground, and I immediately think, it's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. In fact, it's not worth anything. We just throw them around like they're nothing. But what does the penny hold the potential to do? If I was able to invest it in that way, it would have the potential to do something like that so great. And a guy told me one time, he said that he started looking at the penny on the ground and he started thinking, what if that's one soul? The value of one soul, the value of one person. And it gets knocked down quite a bit. And we look at a person in this room and we immediately have value judgments. This one's worth more than this one. But what's the truth? The grace of Christ, grow in the grace of Christ means realize how much you are worth. How much are you worth? How much did God say He was willing to pay for you? The Son of God had to go to the cross for you. That's how much you're worth. Now, if you ever stop and you need to have a motivational moment, you're feeling down, the Son of God had to die for you. That's how much you're worth. That's how much you would give. I want to give you a verse for it. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 18. It says, knowing that you were ransomed from the futile ways inherited from your forefathers, not with perishable things such as silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, like that of a lamb without blemish or spot. He's saying that you were purchased by the blood of Christ. That's how much you're worth. Now hold on. He said grow in the grace and, what was it? Knowledge. Now, I grow in the grace by realizing how much I am worth, how much was paid for me. But what's this knowledge? The knowledge of the name I said I want the whole weekend to be about? Jesus. I get to know the life that was lived by a man on my behalf. So not only the price that was paid on the cross, but I want to see this perfect life. Have you ever thought about that? Every single moment of Jesus' life, every moment was about, I don't want to screw this thing up for you. That's what he was doing. I want to do this perfect for you. I came to make this right. I came to make you right with God. And I'm not going to mess up one law. Not one thing. Not one thought. Not one word. Jesus was perfect. And I get to know that life. It overwhelms me. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a man love like Jesus, but at the same time, I've never seen a man be so bold. You can shake him. He walks into the temple and turns over stone tables and says, what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? He had a whip. He actually prepared for that moment and whipped things out of that place. That bold, but yet so loving that women, children would come up to him in a culture where a Jewish rabbi wouldn't even look at them. They prayed 3 times a day, thank God I'm not a woman. Jewish rabbi. And Jesus had women and children come up to him all the time. How do you explain that? There was a life that no one has ever seen like that. The centurion looked at him and said, surely this must be the Son of God. So I get to know the grace of Christ. I get to know what was paid for me. And I get to know this life, how awesome he is. And I meditate on that. And I say, wow, I am worth something. I have potential to grow. And yes, I want to grow. I need to grow. Because I know life's going to hit me. But look what God has done for me. Look what God wants to do with me. He sent his Son. I hope you'll be motivated tonight to think about that a little bit. Pray that God would awaken our hearts this weekend. Maybe you're here this weekend and you're thinking, I don't really want to be here, but I have to be. Or maybe you're thinking, maybe this will be something. Maybe this will be something that will turn me around a little bit and want some motivation. Don't really think about God that much except when I'm in church. And maybe this will ignite a fire. It's going to start there. It's going to start by seeing the value of Jesus Christ compared to the value of everything else. And when I'm overwhelmed with that, and then he says, that's available for you, then you go, whoa, I must be meant for something greater than what the world has to offer. This little penny, this little one soul, must be something, must be worth something great. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, thank you for the opportunity to grow in the grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ. We know we are not invincible. We know we will get knocked down. Some of us have already been knocked down quite a bit. Some of us, it's coming. But God, thank you that you promised that you would be there with us, and you have prepared for that moment. Because you sent your Son, he came to this earth, he lived a perfect life, and died the death that we deserve, so that we don't have to. And he rose on the 3rd day to show us exactly what we can be. As your word says that as he is, we will also be. And he showed us when he rose, your power is able to overcome anything in this world that this world can throw at us. There's nothing Nothing so great, nothing so strong that it's stronger than you, because you brought it back to life. And we hope, and we pray, and we believe that you will do the same for us as we believe and trust in Him. God, help us to see the worth of our own soul, but help us to also see the worth of others in this room and in our lives, that we would be willing to reach out as you have and bring value to their lives. God, I pray that you would be with every single person that enters this youth rally this weekend, no matter where they're at on the journey. You know where they are. I pray that you would meet them exactly where they are and give them what they need this weekend. If they don't know you, I pray that there would be a response. Somebody would come to Christ this weekend. God, I pray that if they do, pray that it ignite a new fire in them to grow, to take those chains and shed them and be free, exactly the way you made us to be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.